All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here today. My name is Sonya Thomlinson, and I am the career advisor for the Master of Data Science in Computational Linguistics program here in Vancouver, the University of British Columbia. I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to our panelists. Actually, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. Kai, Jaya, and Mingcong. So maybe just take a moment to let us know sort of where you started before coming into the MDS program when you took it, and perhaps where you're working right now or what you've been working on since then. Why don't we start with you, Kai?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Before the MDSCL program, I came from an undergraduate degree in, it was called Language and Intercultural Relations. And so it was different from a traditional linguistics program in that it wasn't studying, branches of linguistics and that sort of thing, but it was definitely languages and linguistics adjacent, with a lot of courses on things like sociolinguistics and kind of like language adjacent social sciences fields. Um, and as far as what I've been up to since the program, I was on contract as a prompt engineer at Meta for a little bit. And since then, I have been an applied AI developer and still am an applied AI developer today, working in the healthcare and life sciences space, mainly with generative AI.
Wonderful. Thanks, Kai. Jaya?
Hi, I'm Jaya. Before I studied MDS-CL, I pursued my bachelor's in India in Velamal Institute of Technology, and I pursued computer science. After that, I was working in Verizon. It is a telecommunication industry. I was working as data scientist for 5 years. And now I'm currently working as senior AI engineer in Infoblox. It is a cybersecurity company.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jaya. And Mingtong.
Hi everyone. I'm really excited to be here with you today. My name is Mingcong, and I'm currently a teaching assistant for the MDSCL program, and I graduated from the 2024 cohort. Like many of you, I started with a passion for language and data, and this program has been instrumental in helping me combine those interests into practical real-world applications. During my time at MDSCL program, I worked at a capstone project with a mining company where my team and I built advanced natural language processing models to extract critical information from mining-related documents. We use techniques like chain of thought prompting, essentially teaching the model to reason step by step, and future learning, which allows the model to perform tasks based on minimal provided examples. Before joining UBC, I applied my data science skills across industries, from finance, where I built models to value asset-backed securities, to supply chain, where I automated supply chain data workflow with Python, which significantly improved efficiency. I'm really looking forward to share more about my experience.
Wonderful. Thank you all for being here, our alumni panelists. So we're going to get started with questions. And first question that I'm going to ask is to our panelists. Based on actually one of these poll responses, did you have any experience in data science coming into the program? So let's start with you, Jaya.
I had experience in data science before coming into the program. I was working as associate data scientist for 2 years and as a data scientist for 3 years. So before the program, I had theoretical knowledge as well as some hands-on experience. But I felt there was a gap between myself and the market when I started pursuing the masters, because the idea and the knowledge I had was was the knowledge that I had when I was pursuing my bachelor's. I didn't have enough knowledge to work on transformers or any deep learning models. Though I started taking any courses from like Coursera or Udemy, it was it was not a deep, or the way they theoretically explain was not enough for me to implement them in the market. So that is the reason why I wanted to pursue master. It acted as a bridge for me to learn in-depth knowledge in NLP as well as in the computational linguistics.
Great, thanks, Jaya. How about you, Mingcong? Oh, do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah. So I think there are several reasons why I choose MDSCL program. First, the MDSCL program is designed to be highly practical and industry focused. So unlike traditional programs, this is a 10 months full-time commitment program. So we can learn various topics in computational linguistics and data science. And so I think we are equipped with enough knowledge to prepare us with practical industry work. And I think one of the key differentiator of MDSCL program is the focus on hands-on experience. So, for example, all courses integrate real-world data set and the program, and also we can accumulate the experience with real-world data set and use all of the learned skills in the final capstone project, where we can work closely with industry partners to solve actual problems using the skills we have learned. So this is a highly collaborative and team-based project that allowed us to demonstrate our expertise and expand our professional network even before our graduate. For example, I know a lot of our classmates, maybe not a lot, but some of our classmates get an intern or full-time job offer from their capstone partners. And additionally, I think I have already had a business analytics master's degree previously. So I think what I need is to get more knowledge from computational linguistics. So I think this 10-month program suits me well, as I'm passionate about entering the workforce quickly and making immediate impact. So this program's short duration is appealing to me. And also, although we have only 10 months in this program, but the curriculum is well designed, and it allowed me to gain both a deep skill set and practical experience during these 10 months. And moreover, although this program is not research based, but there is still opportunities for us to work as a research assistant for professors in linguistic department. From my knowledge, a lot of my classmates, I think at least 1/3 or half of my classmates working as a research assistant for professors in linguistic department. And one of my best friend also published his research with one of our professors this month, and he's the first author. So if you would like to deep dive into research realm, this program will also provide you with opportunities. And lastly, this program is have a good connection with industry partners. So we have a partnership with leading companies in both public and private sectors, as well as startups and nonprofits. So we can build connections with them during a lot of seminars held by Sonya and during our capstone projects. So I think this industry connections is good for our career development and can provide us with potential opportunities to many positions. And finally, I think what is quite good is that we have an opportunity to apply for mentorship programs. So this program, I think, will start this month or next month. So every one of the students in MDSCL program will have a professional industry practitioners. Most of them are MDSCL alumni. They will help you about every questions in your career development. And I personally benefit a lot from this program, mentorship program. So I think there is a lot of things that is quite appealing for me from MDSCL program.
Wonderful. Wow. That was some great information there. Thank you. Kai, how about you? Did you have any experience in data science before coming into the program?
I think not specifically in data science. So as I mentioned, I came from at least directly into the program, did not come from a computer science or math or, any of kind of the pieces of what makes up data science. And the pieces that are taught in the program. I did not come from a background of those. I came from more of an arts background. And so I had taken classes on stats and I had taken, in high school calculus and things like that. And of course, I got the credits that were required for the program. But as far as any, like the most related experience I had was on a research project while I was an undergrad. I was helping develop statistical methodologies to analyze a data set of about 1,000 transcripts for a research project that one of my professors was conducting. And so that wasn't quite data science, but that was kind of the biggest data, if that makes any sense, kind of the closest thing to big data that I had worked with. And that was kind of the aha moment that actually ended up taking me towards data science. It was like, oh my God, there's this intersection of, quantitative analytics and kind of big data and language that I found really fascinating. So the MDS-CL program was kind of a very perfect nexus of those things for me. And so that was kind of the closest experience I had, even though I wouldn't consider it specifically data science.
Great. So similar to that first question, and I'm going to start with you. I'm going to just stay with you here, Kai. In terms of linguistics experience, as this is a computational linguistics specialty in the MDS program, linguistics experience before entering the program, and if yes, how did you manage to either apply that prior experience, or how did you manage in the program if you didn't have prior linguistics experience?
That's interesting. I feel like I fall a bit into both camps. As I mentioned, the program I came from wasn't kind of traditional, like strict linguistics in the typical sense of a linguistics program. Though there were lots of linguistics and kind of linguistics adjacent things that I learned about in the program. And so there were lots of moments throughout the MDS-CL program where we would talk about, I don't know, phonology, or we talk about semantics or sociolinguistics or things like this, or translation, all these things that I had learned about and had been exposed to before. And so there were a lot of kind of, it was like putting names to faces types of moments for me, where it was like, okay, I learned about this. This totally makes sense applying that in context. But there were also lots of other moments where kind of from the more computational linguistics standpoint, it was like I had never heard of NLP, like natural language processing, because that is much more of a computational linguistics type of a field or area, more so than traditional linguistics kind of from the qualitative school. So they were definitely a bit of both from my end.
Great, thank you. Jaya?
I did not have much linguistic experience before joining the program, but I feel it didn't slow me down because the program requires only like basic grammatical knowledge and very basic knowledge about how you form a sentence and what is the part of speech, like these kind of things. Though if we don't know it also, like when you join the program, you will be given enough time to learn, and the courses start in such a way that you learn from the basics, then you try to achieve how to do it in programming language, then you make more projects on it. So it will be a gradual increase in the gradual increase of learning happening. So you won't feel much burden when you do it.
Wonderful, thank you. How about yourself, Mingcong?
Yeah, I think this is a good question because in my opinion, I do have many classmates do not have a linguistic background, including me. I have no linguistic background before before I attend this program, but I think you do not need to worry about it. And I have two reasons for this argument. So first, this program is designed to accommodate varying levels of prior knowledge. So in the initial stage, we will have foundational courses to equip us with essential linguistic knowledge. So I think this is good for us as these foundational courses almost do not require any prior linguistic knowledge and is beginner friendly. So we can gradually dive into the linguistic realm with comfortably. And also, as you can see in our course website, we have 1 credit courses. So this allows us to focus on a specific realm at a time in a manageable block. And my second reason for this conclusion is that we have small class sizes. Because of these small class sizes, and also we have a lot of resources to help the students to learn from the linguistic knowledges. So let's take this year, for example. The students have not only a course instructor, but also a lab instructor and 2 TAs. So as a result, any students, any question can be answered one-on-one in detail. So I think these various resources can help us learn and catch up on the knowledge gap in linguistic realm. I can also provide you with an example of my personal experience as I'm working as a teaching assistant for MDS currently. So one of this year's students came to this program with a background in English literature. She has no prior experience in both data science and linguistics. But she worked hard to attend my office hour every week and figured out all her questions about lecture notes and lab assignments. So throughout her hard work and leveraging her strong analytical skills, which he obtained from his undergraduate study, he excelled in courses like until now, I think.
Great, that's wonderful. Thank you all. That's I think that was one of the more popular questions that was asked. The first two, data science background, linguistics background. So Mingcong, maybe you can just expand a little bit more on what you've already told us around why you chose this specific MDS program at UBC, and also why, and you've already kind of answered this a little bit, but why this 10-month accelerated format as opposed to a research-based master's?
Yeah, because I think this program fits my needs well. As I mentioned previously, I have a master's degree in business analytics previously. So what I want to do is to enhance my ability in computational linguistics. As we all know, since ChatGPT burst into the scene, we have all know that large language models will build a lot of value for every industry, and it's represent the most advanced productivity. So the focus of computational linguistics of this program fits me well, and I also like that the program is designed to be highly practical and industry focused. So unlike traditional research-based master's program, which often require a deep dive into a narrow area and focus on theoretical development, this MDS program equipped us with various skills which we need in the real-world application, including data processing, including statistics, machine learning, deep learning, and also towards the recent most advanced large language models. So I think this comprehensive scope of this program is also appealing to me. Yeah, and also finally, I think what is good for me is the program provides the students with hands-on experience. For example, all of the data set we coped with in this program is from real world data set, such as Yelp data set, Twitter data set. So I think by accumulating with experience with real world data set, it equipped us with necessary skills and prepare us for our future career.
Great, thank you. Jaya, what would you like to add?
I think most of them are covered by Ming, but just to add on one point, one of the reason I wanted to pursue CL is I wanted to get deep knowledge in NLP. I was choosing between MDS-B and MDS-CL, but the work that I was already doing was in text processing, and most of the companies have lot of unused textual data. Even now, we have a lot of textual data available as logs, but it has not been used in various industries. So that is one of the reasons for me to pursue MDSCL.
Wonderful, thank you. How about you, Kai?
Yeah, I think a lot of overlap with both what Jaya and Mingcong have said. For me, I think my reason to pursue CL was specifically rooted or mainly driven by my background in languages and linguistics as far as I had it. Like I mentioned, kind of it was all inspired by that project I was working on where I had kind of an aha moment of this is the perfect nexus of, these bigger data and kind of quant areas that I was interested in combined with languages. And so the MDS-CL program was kind of this perfect thing that opened both of those doors in a really natural way.
Wonderful, thank you. So this is such a great question. I think an important question that I'm going to ask now to all of you. What did you find to be the most challenging aspect of the program? And there might have been many challenges or maybe just one particular. So feel free to expand on that. But Jay, let's start with you.
For me, to attend the classes every day in a week, and I studied bachelor's. I think I completed my bachelor's around 2017, and I started pursuing MDS-CL around 2022. So I had a gap between this. That was my biggest challenge to like attend classes every day and be productive every day. But it also like taught me a lot that I can be that much productive. And I have so much time in my life that I can even learn like one course in 4 weeks. So initially I thought that's like I already know data science, so it will be easy for me. But everything I learned was new, and there is a course called Trends in Data Science, and that really like opened my eyes. I just know so much little in this world. There is a lot to learn. So I feel the timing was a little bit crunchy in the starting, but when I got adapted to it, it stayed in my lifestyle. Now also I feel like I have so much time in my life. I can do so many things productive.
Great, yes. Mingtong, how about you? What aspects of the program did you potentially find challenging?
Yeah, I find the most challenging part of this program is we have limited time to finish many courses and assignments. So as we all know, this is an accelerated program, so we should learn new knowledge very fast. And for example, for every course, we have 8 lectures. We have 4 lab assignments, and we have 2 quizzes. So all of these things will be finished in 1 month. So we need to know how to manage time and how to trade off between different tasks and get everything done in time. So I think this is another thing I learned from this program is how to wisely manage my time. But I think this is also good for us because we learn the same amount of knowledge, but in a shorter time. It saves our time, and we can get into practice in industry, different companies in quickly. And also, in this limited time, we will feel some pressure about so many different assignments. But this is also an indicator that although this is an accelerated program, but we do not sacrifice on the quality of teaching. So we should try our best to learn as many as we can from this program and to be prepared for our jobs.
Great, thank you. How about you, Kai?
I think the hardest aspect of it for me was that almost all of the content felt really new. Like I said, my background largely was not from the computer science and kind of the math side of things. I fulfilled the credits that were required for it, but I was far from an expert in any of them, especially compared to other people in the program. And so a lot of the coding felt completely new. A lot of the math and the stats felt very new, or at least I felt very rusty on it. It had been a while. And so I think getting or having to get up to speed on all of those things simultaneously under the same kind of accelerated format and constraints that Mingcong just went over were very, very difficult. And so it definitely took me probably the first month or so, maybe even more than that, to kind of find a routine, to figure out what the rhythm was and to find how to pace my own learning and kind of any time that I did have outside of classes, how to structure that in such a way that it would be most effective and most conducive to trying to retain information, to trying to study for exams, complete assignments, and all that sort of thing. And so I think ultimately, yeah, it was a lot of the content, and it was kind of finding the routine of everything, finding the rhythm of it all.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Yes. So I'm hearing time management from all three of you. And so anything that you would add to that in terms of certainly managing your time so that you can complete assignments and study for the quizzes, etc. How about just even outside of the program? Is there time to enjoy the beautiful city of Vancouver? How would you support or advise future students coming into this program of how to manage not only the course, but just have a little bit maybe of a social life, of a healthy lifestyle? Should we start with you again, Kai?
Sure. So I think in my experience, like I said, that the first little bit was definitely the biggest grind of it all. It kind of felt like I was just tripping forward all the time, and it didn't feel like I was in control of my time. But once I had kind of found that rhythm and that routine, it felt like I could go, okay, now that I've been through this cycle of these 4 weeks and this batch of courses completely, I kind of have an idea of what this is going to look like this next month. So I can try to get ahead of it more now. Now that I've got a sense of the routine, I can go, okay, I'm going to have these labs due. I need to front load this as much as possible. I can work on this day and kind of be a bit more proactive with my time management rather than feeling like it's solely reactive. And so I won't say that you're going to have, 40 hours a week of free time. If you do, maybe you're an expert in this stuff already, but that definitely wasn't my situation. But I will say that if you can try to find what rhythm and what routine works best for you as quickly as possible, it'll result in you getting the most out of the program, you retaining the most, and having the best success in the classes. But then that will also mean that you'll have more free time when you can find how to structure your time the best. And so there definitely was free time. Typically, my own personal routine, it might be different for the other panelists here and other people in the program. My own routine kind of consisted of working pretty hard kind of Monday to Saturday when labs were due on Saturdays. Of course, getting anything done early as much as I could, but there was typically always at least one that we were getting done at the last minute. And then Sundays I would dedicate to groceries, to free time, to whatever else I could do. And so Sundays typically were the day for me when I'd have time to explore a bit more.
Wonderful. Thank you. Mingcong?
Yeah, I think what Kai has mentioned is quite comprehensive, and I only have one point to add on is that, although this program is intensive, but it's also well designed to provide us with enough time to have a relax. For example, the deadline for us to submit every assignment is Saturday. So for every week, we always have Sunday to relax, and we have no assignment and we have no access to future lecture notes. So what we can do is to relax on every Sunday. And also after every block, we will have 1 week to take quizzes, but the quizzes only take a few ratio of this week. And we also can have a good rest during the week between each blocks. And also at the middle of every term, we will have a reading week. So during this one reading week, we have no quiz, no assignment, no lecture. So this week can also help us have a good relax. So because thanks to this well-designed breaks for us, I think I do have enough time to enjoy the beautiful natural scenario in natural scenes in Vancouver. And I also enjoy a very happy experience with the classmates. And I remember at least once a month, I have time to enjoy my time with my friends, either having a meal together or go hiking together. And this extracurricular time also help me build relationship with my classmates. And what's better is that the project managers, Kenna and Andriane, will also organize colorful activities to help us build friendship with classmates.
Wonderful, thank you. Jaya?
So for me, I feel the MDS-CL program gave me good community. I was new to the city and new to the country, everything. Though we stay together like 8 hours in a day together. I made really good friends, because when you go through the same thing together, you tend to like empathize for the other person, and you really get good friends in MDS-CL. And we had this thing, after every block exams we go to like a museum or Nitobi garden inside the UBC campus, and we enjoy. So yeah, it gives you good friends, and there is a lot of place for you to explore inside the campus, as well as you have this compass card where you can get pass every month, and you can use it to like go around the city as well.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm going to switch over to one of the live questions that has come in. And this is, with undergraduate courses, including any prerequisites, were most predictive of program and/or career fit for each of you? Yes, Kai, let's go with you.
No problem. I unmuted myself, but I don't know if I have a perfect answer. I feel like the reason why I'm hesitating is because I think, like Mingcong mentioned, ChatGPT came out. It was actually a few months into mine and Jaya's cohort, and so I think that kind of as much as that has flipped the industry on its head, it probably changed the trajectory of the careers that we would pursue. I know it did for myself. I guess I won't speak for the others here. But like I mentioned, my current role is largely in generative AI, and in an applied setting. And I think if ChatGPT had not came out, Transformers hadn't happened, and there wouldn't be this huge generative AI thing that has swept the world. I don't think I would be working in a generative AI space. It would probably be much more traditional NLP, like Jaya mentioned, data science, that sort of thing. And so while I do incorporate those things day to day into my work, my focus is generative AI. And so while we were in the program, I would say, I guess, in terms of anything being the most closely linked to what I do now, it would have been any courses that focused on generative AI. And so I think it was towards the end of the program. I think it was the Trends in Computational Linguistics or Trends in Data Science course. I forget the title exactly, where luckily that course had taken place after the launch of ChatGPT. And though ChatGPT was relatively new to the world, the models that are used in ChatGPT, transformer models, had been out for several years, and the professors were very familiar with them and quite proficient in that sort of thing. And so they did a really, really great job of kind of, I imagine at least, pivoting some of the course content to talk about those things because they were so much more relevant at that point. And so learning about things like these transformer models that are used in ChatGPT and lots of other platforms now in generative AI at that time are very, very directly related to what I do now.
Great, thank you. How about you, Jaya?
I think my answer is also similar to Kai.
Great. Anything to add, Mingtong?
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
Oh, let's see if I can find it now. Which undergraduate courses, including any prerequisites, were most predictive of program and/or career fit for you?
Oh, okay. I think I do not have anything to add on based on Kai's question.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Uh, I think this is a great question that came in before the webinar. What is one positive thing that you felt that you got out of the program that you didn't think you would have? Do you want to start, Mingcong?
I think I get a lot of things from this program, but what I didn't expected is good relationship with the instructors and also with Sonya. So in my opinion, professors are much smarter than me, and they are very busy on their research. So I don't think I will have much communications with them after class, or we finished his class. But what surprised me is that the instructors in linguistics department are very, very easygoing and friendly and supportive. So I come to them both because of the questions in course, or we have some difficulties in our course project, or I have some problems about how to cooperate in a group project, or how to better communicate with group mates with different personality. So I think no matter the program director or the course instructors are very helpful and supportive. And even after graduation, the project director this week, he also reached out to me to give me a refer for a position in NLP, and also they are quite willing to give me letter of recommendation to help me apply for jobs. So they are very friendly, supportive. This is beyond my expectation before I attend this program.
That's wonderful. Jaya?
So I would say I have been the ability to learn, that skill have been improved for me. Now also I have so many new things to learn in cybersecurity with my company. But initially I would have thought like a new thing to learn. I might not be very good at that. But after this MDSCL program, I always feel I get good understanding if I'm given 4 weeks. I should be able to like be top of it. So that the ability to learn, and the references that I got from UBC is way more valuable, because I know one of my colleague who got into Infoblox after even 1 year of completing the course. My professors gave them references, so which is like feeling grateful, like even after 1 year your professors know you and they are very willing to give you references, and that's a very good thing about the MDSCL program.
Thank you. Thanks, Jaya. How about you, Kai?
I don't think I have too much more depth to add to those. I feel echo both of the or all of the things that have been said by both of them. But I think in a similar way, as much as the networking kind of side of things is a part of the program that is actively promoted, I think I wasn't expecting to actually feel that impact as much as I did. I was expecting to make friends in the program and, kind of all those typical social aspects of a program, except I think between ending up feeling as close to the professors and to a lot of the other students, my classmates who I did meet, and this kind of being my first experience in the professional world, like after the program, and actually realizing how valuable those connections were and how much of a beneficial impact they would have on my success in the professional world. That was something that I think I didn't understand and couldn't have understood before the program. Both of the roles I've had since the program, I got through referrals, and both of those things came from people in the program. Either other people who were occupying similar roles or the same role that I was in, kind of joining their teams, or who had been suggested to me by someone in the program. So again, everything has been really directly impacted by the quality of the network that I've developed from the program.
Wonderful, thank you. So you've all in some level spoke to, obviously this is an intensified accelerated program, projects, quizzes, but a really important aspect of this program as well is the last 2 months where you focus on a capstone project with an industry partner. Maybe just take a moment and let us know a little bit about what was the capstone project that you worked on, maybe a little bit, what was the industry, what was it like working with an industry partner? Anything else that you want to add about your capstone experience would be, I think, really great. Let's start with you, Kai.
Sure. So the capstone project I was on, it was kind of in the legal tech space, I guess. And the goal of the project was to better understand decisions that had been made in legal trials surrounding eviction cases. Specifically, they were in the context of Ontario, Canada. Reason why that jurisdiction was because the project partners were largely in Ontario, and because of the way legal jurisdictions are organized in Canada, the provincial level has certain distinctions, and so we focused on that area of the data. And so the project itself involved looking at over 50,000 legal cases. And so these were unstructured text files. If anyone here already knows some NLP or data science, which in non-tech speak, that basically just means things like Word documents as opposed to structured text files like spreadsheets and tables. And so there are tons of difficulties that present when you are working with data like that in a computational sense, compared to a human reading through it, which is easy to kind of read, the 300 words of this file and then synthesize meaningful aspects to it, things like who the judge was, things like when the hearing date was, so on and so forth, that a human can do very easily. Computers struggle with that. And so what my team tried to do was come up with proprietary algorithms, come up with custom models and different methods that we could use to extract information from this volume of 50,000 cases, and then compare the data from one to another. And so the larger goal again was to be able to train a model or come up with some sort of system that we could use to compare these pieces of information from each case file, and then from there reverse engineer this system that we had come up with that could reliably compare them or kind of make a prediction, let's say, about the case outcome, that sort of thing, and then understand those comparisons and those trends by having this trained model. So it was a really interesting project. The four of us were all really interested in the legal domain, and so it was a great intersection of kind of legal and tech and kind of social justice and things that we were all really passionate about. And it was really great working with the capstone partner. It was really interesting too because the capstone partner in particular for our group were themselves volunteers, a part of this organization. And so while we did have a little bit of a budget, there were a lot of methods that we couldn't try because they would have cost thousands of dollars. And so they were out of scope. And it was tough at the time, but it also made it really interesting having those constraints. If it were completely open-ended and they said, yeah, we've got $1 million of budget, do anything you want, spend it on AWS, use whatever expensive models you want, it would have been, I don't want to say easy, but it would have been, much easier. And so on the flip side, having those constraints really pushed us to come up with simple algorithms that we could run on our computers that wouldn't take literally weeks to run, because some do if they're too complex or if they're too intensive. And so I think having those constraints made it really interesting and drove a lot of the learning that I got from that project. And I think it was also a great representation of how I've found at least things work kind of in industry. A lot of the time, you have to address key business questions. You have to think about things like costs. You have to do a simple proof of concept for a project or a pilot for an idea before you can just jump into it and start making a notebook and trying to scale it up. Because your boss or your teammates or executives in the company, they're not concerned so much about you getting 80% on your model versus 65%. They want to know, is it going to cost me an arm and a leg? And so I think a lot of the things that drove the decisions and the outcomes from that project, I have taken and have found very, very relevant to my experience working professionally since then. So it was really great.
Wonderful. Thank you. That does sound like a fascinating project. And yes, I'm hearing the the real-time, real-world learning with everything that you've learned in the program, applying it through Capstone. How about you, Mingcong?
Yeah, it's great to hear Kai's interesting Capstone project, and I'm also excited about the opportunity to work at my Capstone project. So I would like to first introduce the process, how we were matched with each Capstone partner. So MDS program first spent several months to collect proposal, and all course instructors will review these proposals and finally provide students with the projects with the highest quality. So what I can say is that the difficulty of the Capstone project proposals to come to the students is not easier than the students get admitted than MDS program. So so we can choose between many proposals with very high quality. And after reading the proposal, we will have an opportunity to talk to the Capstone partners in person before we made a decision. So this helps us to get an idea about how the Capstone partners work style and whether they have the background we prefer to. And in May and June, we will officially start our working on our Capstone projects. So my Capstone partner is a mining company, and it's top 3 mining companies in the world. So they are very professional, and every person in their data science team has solid data science background. So we worked with 1 data engineer, 1 data scientist, and from time to time, the team director will also join our weekly meeting. So I think they are very supportive, helpful, but they did not push us a lot. For example, they allow us to implement our thoughts, but they did not put very high requirement on us to make us suffer a lot from their pressure. And during my project, we conducted 6 iterations on our model, and we used large language models to extract named entities and match them in pairs. So this is a document level relation extraction task where we extract name location pairs of mining projects from mining related press releases. So we use the state-of-the-art model called Cloud3 Opus and called the API from Amazon AWS. And we also implemented some advanced NLP techniques such as chain of thought prompting, feature learning, self-refinement, and self-consistency. So all of them are learned from the latest released academic papers. And the Capstone partner are quite satisfied with our project and our final report. And also our final report, which has 15 pages, was awarded the only faculty's choice from the linguistics department. And the instructor will also play essential roles in the Capstone project. We usually meet weekly with our instructors, who is also our project manager internally, and we will also have weekly meeting with Capstone partners. And I think both of them are supportive and helpful and do not push us a lot. So I enjoy this working environment a lot because this kind of relaxed and supportive environment you can almost cannot find in a real job. So this is a good opportunity for you to practice, to think, and to create value.
Wonderful, thank you. Jay, I'm going to ask you a different question just because we are getting a little short on time, and I want to certainly go into careers. And we have a live question that I want to get to before we finish the webinar. Maybe say a little bit about your experience in finding a job after the program, has the process been a fulfilling process for you, relevant to your MDS journey as well?
So for me, finding a job was not that much difficult. I was able to get jobs. I also used to work as prompt engineer in Meta, like Kai. But the work was not satisfying for me at some point because it was not directly working with developing a model. It was somehow related to testing the output created by Llama. But that is the reason, I felt this is not where I belong to. So I wanted to switch job, and I had the opportunity to get interviewed for companies like Procogia and Extreme Networks. These were the companies that were having a lot of positions open at the time. But due to unfortunate situation, recession was happening, and though I got the job at the time, the position got closed or was put on hold. So it was a lot of unfortunate things were happening for around 2 or 3 months. But still, I was very strong. I wanted to get a job. I was searching for job around 3 months. I got into Infoblox in October. So yeah, though the journey was hard, when you pursue continuously with the knowledge provided from the masters and with good references, you should be able to land a job.
Wonderful. Great. How about you, Kai? How's your work experience been since completing the program?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot. Because we're short on time, I don't know if I have a ton I can add, but I will definitely echo network, network, network. You'll hear that a ton, and it's for good reason. Uh, Everyone has a resume. There are lots of really, really smart and talented people out there, and I'm sure everyone here falls into that group. But I think the things that make people stand out is personal connections. And I really mean personal connections. It's the people you know, it's the people you went to class with, it's the professors you came and asked questions to after class, went to office hours with. They're the ones who are going to be not just able to, but they're the ones who are going to be championing you when there are opportunities that arise, and they will want to pass you on to other people who they want to show you off to. It's that kind of thing. So try to make as many personal connections as you can.
Yeah, that's great. And as the career advisor for this program, for those of you who join us next September, you're going to hear that from me as well, just what Kai is saying. Network, network, network. So I want to get to this one live question. I think that is a fascinating question. So here's the question. Given the rise of generative AI, where do you see the future of data science heading? What emerging skills should current data science students focus on developing? Kai, do you want to start us off?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Yeah, I was looking at that question. I've got thoughts. So I think though my time in data science has been shorter, I think, than at least like Jaya, and I'm not sure about Mingcong, but then lots of other people. What I've noticed is that models change all the time. There have been countless large language models and generative AI models that have come out and that are constantly lapsing each other and improving upon each other. Every week or two, there's a new model from Google, from OpenAI, from Anthropic, from Meta, all over the place. And so I think the models will change, the algorithms will change a little bit. I think the fundamentals of understanding how conceptually something is trained, how to test, how to get baseline scores to check how good your model is in the absence of something else to compare it to. These kinds of fundamental skills and fundamental understandings of concepts that are constantly applied are the most important things. And I'll also add that what my team has noticed as we've hired more team members who work in roles like AI developers, data scientists, and that sort of thing. The most gaps we see are with platforms like AWS, kind of cloud solutions, because it's great to be able to have an understanding of these types of models and the data science fundamentals, but it's the kind of thing where it doesn't matter how much you understand it if you can't put it somewhere on the web and use it in practice. And so I think as far as things that can help to stand out and things that will remain in spite of things like generative AI and all of these new waves that will perpetually happen. I think having a fundamental understanding of the importance and the mechanisms for how a model works, how you can apply it, and then where you can host it or how you can get it to actually interact with data in the real world are the most important kind of highest level building blocks that you can take away.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Kai. I want to ask one final question to all of our panelists. Any final thoughts or advice or encouragement that you would offer any of the guests of the webinar who are considering applying for MDS-CL for 2025? Mingcong, do you want to start?
Yeah, my only suggestion is MDS-CL program provided a lot of resources for you to learn, for you to develop your career. So I encourage you to take the advantage of all of the resources, and you will finally benefit a lot from it.
Wonderful, thank you. How about you, Jaya?
I feel if you want to like really do a master's and in data science with deep knowledge in NLP, I think this is the course to go. I've seen a lot of courses, but I feel this coursework has been updated every year with respect to the new technologies that's happening around the world. So I feel, yeah, this is a really great course to like a campus to corporate connect.
Great, thanks. Any final thoughts, Kai?
I think my biggest takeaway is you get out what you put in to anything. I'm a big proponent of that and everything in life. So I think if you put a lot of genuine effort into the program and try to focus on, making real connections with people, and try to be as interested in the content as you can for your own sake, I think you're going to end up mirroring that on the flip side. You're going to get a lot out of it, and you're going to get some really great opportunities.
Wonderful, thank you. So thank you all for joining us on this webinar, for submitting your questions before the webinar, for the live Q&A, as well as thank you to our panelists, our alumni who have joined us today and shared their wisdom and their knowledge. Appreciate it. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.